Caleb Williams. You got Caleb, you moved him up. I actually don't think you moved him up high enough.
Wow.
Wow.
And I know for all you guys, I think I'm just like Caleb Williams hater. I'm not. I actually believe that Caleb Williams should be on the roll, and you can move any one of those guys. I actually said Burrow, swap him with Burrow, because Burrow, obviously, it hasn't looked like what we came accustomed to, believing it was going to be sustainable, what was going to be sustainable for him and that team in terms of wins and losses and where they hold their rank in the upper echelon.
And his health
of
has
AFC.
been an issue.
Correct. Caleb Williams, though, the constant progression, and I know the knock is, he's through 58% he only completed 58% of his passes this year, but if you watched him all season long, and listen to Ben Johnson, it was all about his progression, his growth, his development. And we saw that all season long. He's the one that of everyone on this list, and I mean everyone on this list, next year, going into next year, I feel like the growth and the development, he can make, again, the biggest jump. Because in year one, he was 62% completion. Obviously didn't have the coordinator, obviously didn't have the head coach support and all the things that he needed and the skilled guys around him and the offensive line. He made such strides this year, and we still were like, man, he's not really playing complete games. He's not really playing like efficient football. But when the game is on the line, he's spectacular. I think that's the next step for him. He has the situational football he has down.
Yep.
Ben Johnson challenged him this year, which is why I believe his completion percentage was down. Next year, going into next season, I believe he works on that all off season. He comes back even better, and who knows what this team can do next year because of that man right there.
Wow.
Caleb Williams, I believe he deserves to be up.
Very optimistic.
I mean, it's listen, I'm a Caleb guy. Everybody knows it. And I mean, you
You
want
kind of
him.
gave up on him.
No,
early in the
Kinda.
season.
That
You handed
he
him
gave
off.
up.
I am
completely to
KW.
You dropped a banner.
KW
on
around
him.
the office, off the air.
Yeah.
What am I famous for? Giving great gifts.
Crippling nicotine addiction.
Yeah, that's true. But am I a great gift giver?
Yes, you are.
I am a
gift
great
Yes,
gift
you are
giver.
definitely a great
Everyone
gift
can attest. Not so much Greg.
I was gonna say,
He's
oh,
not really
wait,
your age,
hold
so.
Sometimes it's like when
You are.
And
gifts.
whether it be, nice shoes or robes for you guys,
we
had
give Greg a gift.
Let's get
I,
back
sh-
to
I
the
should
gift
give
giving.
Greg a gift, but what do you give the man who has everything?
Nice.
I gave Danny Parkins Caleb Williams, not because I didn't want him, not because I didn't need him,
Well, you're certainly not
but
the
because
biggest
it was
Caleb fan
on the show.
on the show. You're not.
No, because Danny's from
Danny
Chicago,
came
so
in.
yeah, so.
So we all are about even. On
No, because KW doesn't
I
believe.
like him now.
No, I said. Okay.
All right, let's delve into this topic as they attempt to refute the notion of giving up on Caleb Williams. It is a compelling discussion because Caleb has experienced a truly fascinating season, characterized by a lack of the sustained consistency you'd ideally want, or could directly compare to the established elite. Since the conversation specifically referenced Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, and the idea of potentially moving one of them down, let's focus there. Obviously, Burrow has dealt with injuries, but when he is on the field, the level of performance consistency is remarkable. The same applies to Lamar and Allen. This isn't to say those quarterbacks are incapable of having poor outings. However, when all three are fully healthy, and I'm setting aside the injury caveat for this comparison, they deliver a consistency of greatness, a reliable standard of elite play that we have not yet witnessed from Caleb Williams over a full campaign. We simply haven't. This past season represented a monumental step in the right direction and was incredibly exciting. I've stated countless times that if Caleb can start consistently converting the layups, the routine plays, what the Chicago Bears are constructing with him, and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has the potential to mirror the Patrick Mahomes-Andy Reid dynamic. You're building an offense capable of hanging 35 points in the blink of an eye. I am a believer in that vision. Yet, I won't pretend that I magically witnessed that fully realized consistency this past season, or that simply recognizing the immense potential means we can conclusively declare, well, he's already arrived. That's not how I personally operate. This echoes a similar dialogue I had regarding Jaden Daniels last season when he was performing at an exceptionally high level. After the season, when all the annual quarterback rankings and tier lists typically emerge around March or April, I repeatedly argued a point. If we're evaluating a quarterback based solely on one singular, spectacular season, and the counter-argument is always, we can't rank him too high because it's only 1 year. We need to see multiple seasons of excellence. Then quarterbacks like Allen, Lamar, Burrow, and Mahomes maintain such a colossal advantage that the conversation becomes somewhat predetermined. However, if I'm judging purely based on what I witnessed on the field during that season, you would have to place that player in the bona fide top 5 conversation. I'm not overly concerned with the precise numerical slot, but the performance warranted a place among the very elite. I don't believe we can state that with 100% certainty regarding what we saw from Caleb Williams this year. What made Caleb special in many respects was a collection of spectacular individual moments rather than a continuous flowing current of sustained greatness from start to finish. And I think that's a fair assessment because, in my view, I treated this as Caleb's true rookie season, given the context of a new system. I am completely on board with that perspective and patient with the process. Nevertheless, in this immediate moment, I don't think it's equitable to place Caleb above Allen, Lamar, or Burrow, due to the proven, multi-year consistency I've observed from that trio. This does not mean I don't wholeheartedly believe Caleb can, or ultimately will, surpass one of them. I have a specific quarterback in mind, but I won't name names now. It's only January, and I'm not in the mood for that particular firestorm. I do believe Caleb possesses a monumental advantage, akin to the benefit Patrick Mahomes has enjoyed for years with Andy Reid. Caleb has that same massive edge with Ben Johnson. When we begin to analyze quarterbacks through the lens of their coach-quarterback synergy and the system they're asked to operate within, everything makes far more sense. Caleb's situation provides him with a tremendous leg up, a truly massive advantage. Therefore, the likelihood of us witnessing consistent greatness and achieving high levels of success with Caleb over the coming years seems like the safest bet imaginable. However, the way my mind works is this. As much as I adore those crazy, fun, electrifying moments, the wow throws and improvisational brilliance we saw from Caleb, I still place a higher value on a consistent level of operation and Superman performances that span an entire game or an entire half, not just a singular, isolated play. Caleb has shown flashes of those Superman moments, but within a smaller window than we've observed from Mahomes, Allen, etc., where they've sustained that level for full games or halves, repeatedly. Caleb is demonstrating that potential. I want to see him take over a game from start to finish, dominate a half completely, in a way that leaves no doubt you can summon that version of him at any moment. He's shown glimpses, remarkable ones, like in both games against Green Bay or in the playoff game against the Rams, even though the ending was unfavorable. But you can still perceive the youth in his game. When I mention a sense of uncomfortableness, I don't mean a lack of ability or confidence. It's more an intangible quality, a presence. It's not quite the palpable, been there a million times aura you see when watching Allen, Stafford, or Mahomes in colossal moments. You can visibly see their extensive experience on the field. I don't see that at a 100% level with Caleb quite yet. This isn't about perfection or even success in those moments. A quarterback can still throw a crushing interception in overtime, as happened against the Rams, yet project total comfort and command. It's a general sense of seasoned familiarity. I'm not suggesting he's on the opposite end of the spectrum, panicking. He clearly doesn't, as I had tremendous confidence in him with the ball in his hands in crucial situations. It's just a subtle, almost imperceptible notch below what I've witnessed from the Staffords, Mahomes, and Allens of the world. I even highlighted this nuance before the playoff game against Matthew Stafford. When asked who I'd trust more in a specific late-game scenario, I believe it was for an entire drive versus a single Hail Mary type play, I said for constructing a full methodical drive, I'd take Stafford. But for one insane 80-yard, what did I just witness? Miracle moment, I'd lean toward Caleb. Ironically, we saw both scenarios play out in that very game. When you need to systematically move the chains, manage the clock, get to the line, make checks, and execute a sequence of plays. The accumulated experience of an Allen, Stafford, or Mahomes provides a tangible edge. You'd be hard-pressed to choose a less experienced player over them with 33 seconds left when they essentially are the offensive coordinator. That's why a veteran like Aaron Rodgers or even Kirk Cousins thrives in those moments. Sheer experience can outweigh almost everything else at that precise juncture. I perceive a hint of that dynamic with Caleb, even though his moments are still punctuated by brilliance and incredible plays. And let me emphasize, that is perfectly okay. He doesn't need to have it all figured out right now. Caleb Williams does not need to prove he's the #1 quarterback in the NFL today. He is not required to possess that complete, polished, veteran package immediately. What excites me is the prospect of continuity with Ben Johnson. I'm thrilled to see Caleb's growth within this system. I was adamant all season that this was, for all intents and purposes, his rookie year in this offense. I repeated it constantly, especially when performances were rocky and others were quick to voice doubts or declare they were abandoning Caleb. I maintained that this was his first year with Ben Johnson, and whatever happened the prior season was irrelevant. In fact, at a certain point last season, sometime after Thanksgiving, amid all the turmoil, I officially declared that the remainder of that season meant exactly nothing to me for evaluating Caleb Williams. I didn't care about the stats or outcomes in those final games. That's why this past season carried so much more weight. Now, the compelling question is, what does year 2 look like with Caleb and Ben Johnson in this offense? That will mean everything to me, arguably more than this past year did. I'm eager to see it, but I want to witness more than just the magical, highlight reel moments. I want to see the overall operation improve, the consistency rise. Because, as Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, and Lamar would attest, it's incredibly difficult to win consistently when relying predominantly on magical moments and heroic fourth-down heaves. It's a tremendously hard way to live. The Bears have the coach in Ben Johnson who can transform Caleb into a smooth operator, who can have the offense dialed in with the precision Andy Reid provides for Mahomes. The goal is to have both, the magical, off-script brilliance and the systemic, repeatable efficiency. I know, shocking concept. It's sometimes difficult to admit that the system is a primary facilitator of winning and player elevation. But they have Ben Johnson, and that may be Caleb's greatest advantage over many of his peers, an advantage even more significant than his own prodigious magical abilities. But those are simply my reflections. I am incredibly eager to hear yours. What do you all think about Caleb Williams? Do you believe he should be elevated in these types of discussions? Is it fair to keep him ranked below established veterans like Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Stafford, May, Mahomes, etc.? If you would move him up, who would you switch him out with? I encourage you, if you answer, to look past the easy out of Joe Burrow's injury. That's low-hanging fruit. I'd rather the exercise make you think a little harder, wrestle with the comparison. Is it Burrow? Is it Lamar? Is it Stafford or May? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, let's engage in some discussions. Let's have some spirited debates. But ultimately, let's just enjoy the process. And please consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.